have a lot of these orgs. We have Our Rev, Justice Democrats, Brand New Congress. They said, and Jen, you know, because you signed it, you know, when you ran, that we would hold people accountable to the policies, that we're signing on to hold people accountable to the policies. But once these people get elected, it's like fundraising goes above holding them accountable. And I witnessed this at Brand New Congress. You know, I wish them well. I don't hold anything against them, but I'm just being honest. They were wanting to take accountability out of the mission statement. And I'm kind of like, well, what's the point? If we're an organization that's going to endorse people, withholding that endorsement is your power. You know, speaking out, speaking in support when support is needed, but also speaking out when a challenge is needed. To be able to challenge these organizations, not challenging and just falling in line like the DSA has on some things. What happened with the railroad strike is all these orgs fell in line with the squad and stuff, and the Democrats they endorsed, everyone fell in line against the workers and was out there, you know, making excuses for this vote. No, the point of these orgs and the reason that people volunteer and support them is to hold these representatives accountable. I believe that. That should be the point of a damn party too.
Yeah, well, what about when I say this
doesn't work?
When I say this about the Progressive Caucus, the Congressional Progressive Caucus, I keep saying, what is the point? What is the point of a block of people? Well, I mean, the fact that there's certain people in there is just silly. But what is even the point of having a block if you don't ever do anything? I would also like to suggest that we stop using the term squad. And I did a little bit on this where I actually pulled up the definition of squad. And by definition, squad is a team of people that come together to perform a mission. That's the definition of a squad. And I would suggest that there is no cohesive enough group to say that it is a squad. And so, like, to me, that's just sort of like this media term that's like this media theater term that we use to basically talk about the handful of people that were supposed to be fighting for the left, but don't really.
I think we'll just say that every time. The handful of people that was supposed to fight for the left, but don't really. We'll put that on every graphic. That'll be the hashtag.
But don't you think that's more fitting than squad?
Yeah.
The only one of that group that really seems like has real fire in the belly is Rashida. She still does, especially when it comes to Israel-Palestine. She's not backing down. And that
she won't come on, though. I want her to come on so badly and do.
You have to deal with Russia.
I know, and Russia is like the gatekeeper, and for some reason, it's hard to get. It's hard to get through, and
But the problem with Alex and the problem with Corey in particular is I understand that they have this irrational to a degree fear that the party is just going to sick the wolves on them if they don't just do what they're told. But my attitude is you're so inspiring to the people in New York City and St. Louis. You can be cultivating that support network in such a way that there is nothing DC can do to take you out of power. Where you can
say, fine, bring it. Like
Oh, go ahead, Jen. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I would love somebody to get in that doesn't give a shit about being reelected.
That's what I was just about to say. And they shouldn't care.
And Alex is talking about relational problems. You're not there to make friends, honey. That's not the point. This isn't like a sorority.
Alex is
She told us when she ran at Brand New Congress. The whole damn point, like the whole point was to not make friends. The whole point was to raise hell. The whole point was to push the envelope. If they're not doing that, there is no point. I understand that sometimes there has to be some kind of compromise. That's why I mentioned like the war rally thing that I'm upset about, because you don't compromise with the damn Mrs. Caucus. If you have to always look at the broader picture, you can sometimes come together on one issue, one random issue or another, but you do have to look at the bigger picture. When I look at the bigger picture of, what Corey's done, what AOC has done, Corey backed out on her housing as a human rights legislation. As soon as Biden gave that 60-day moratorium with her on the steps, she totally dropped that and stopped promoting the housing as a human right. And I'm like, this bill, you being on the steps, she could have pressured with that opportunity for that bill. And that's what she should have done.
What are they threatened with? What are they threatened with? What do you think?
I don't think they're threatened with anything. My honest to God truth, my honest to God feeling is once you get up there, you're surrounded with people that tell you to do the greatest good. You have to play ball. You have to do this. You have to do that. They get these DC insider. And then I met a lot of people that ran, and I'm just going to be honest, and I'm not going to say who because I don't want to throw anyone under the bus.
Right.
But after they ran, it changed them. They wanted to run again. They started becoming like kind of self-absorbed.
I know who you're talking about, and I don't even have to. And it's interesting. And I always think not to say anything. And of all the people that I know of, or at least it's the person that comes to my mind. That's what's really interesting. We'll have to discuss after.
And
but that's
in a
really
situation where sometimes you end up running.
It's like there were several of them that I met like this. And it was really concerning to me because it's like after people run, like I met them in the beginning and then after the race and then even after sometimes running a couple times. And just to be clear, I'm not talking about my bestie Paula, as I said, ran a couple times. But there that hasn't done that, to be honest. But there are
you don't think you find anybody who hasn't done that? Yeah, you do.
Occasionally, but it does change you. And I understand why, because you're thrown into the spotlight. You have to worry about what you say. You have all these people around you that are you know what it was like to run.
But to me, if you get elected, you don't if you're going in there with a perspective of, I am here to spend these 2 years busting ass, using my platform, causing a ruckus, helping labor, doing everything I can. I don't expect to get legislation passed. I'm not delusional, right? But I'm going to use this platform to bring the outside in as much as I possibly can. And I don't give a shit about being reelected. Imagine how powerful that is.
Wasn't that the point, Jen? And then that's
my point. That's my point.
That was the point of Brand New Congress and Justice Democrats, though. That was the whole thing that I wrote emails promising people for 4 years when I worked for Brand New Congress that we were going to do. But that brings me to the very third and last thing I was going to mention. And I just want to throw that out there really quickly. My biggest lesson learned is to turn my attention away from federal politics, from the House and the Senate. We can work on that. I'm not saying to completely ignore it, but I feel like there needs to be a lot stronger focuses at the state level and municipal levels, because for God's sake, the stuff that is being passed in the state houses now are just straight up fascism and corporatism. Like some of these laws, like some of the right to work laws, anti-abortion laws.
We're in Florida. We got the trifecta.
I know. Florida's like Kentucky. We Florida and Kentucky right in the same boat, man, on this stuff. It's bad. And they are literally chipping away not only at our civil liberties, but our economic rights. And it's bad. It's bad. And that's all being done at the local, state, and municipal levels. And you know what? That is the battle. That is where the Tea Party is focused. That's where the right wing is focused, and they're taking them.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.